Imagine this, you book your flight, pack your bags and get to the airport, ready for your next adventure. But then, bam, an agent stops you. Sorry, you're missing a new document. That's right, big travel changes are coming in 2025, and if you don't know them, your trip could be ruined before it even starts. From new border rules, airline fees and travel authorizations to tourist taxes and flight cancellations. 2025 is bringing major changes for European travelers. Let's break them down so you can stay ahead and travel stress-free. First, let's start with the great news. As of January 1st, 2025, Bulgaria and Romania are officially part of the Schengen area. This means no more international border checks when traveling between these countries and the rest of Schengen. Easier travel, faster airport security, and fewer passport checks if you're flying or taking a train. But be aware, land and sea borders might still have temporary checks for a transition period. Frequent travelers will definitely save time with this change, but be sure to always check for any additional country-specific restrictions, as each nation might have their own implementation timelines. ETIAS, Europe's new travel authorization. Starting in 2025, travelers from around 60 non-EU countries will need to apply for ETIAS, which stands for European Travel Information and Authorization System. It's a bit complicated, but you will have to have this authorization before entering any Schengen countries. But don't worry, EU citizens are not affected. ETIAS is similar to the US ESTA. It costs €7 and lasts for 3 years. If you have friends or family visiting from outside the EU, make sure they know about this. Also, approvals might not be instant. Some applications can take up to 4 weeks to process, especially if additional security checks are required. My best advice, apply well in advance. UK introduces ETA for European travelers. Thinking of a weekend in London, starting April 2nd, 2025, EU citizens will need to apply for a UK Electronic Travel Authorization, ETAA, before entering the country. It costs around £10 and will be valid for 2 years or until your passport expires. This means one extra step for EU travelers heading to the UK, so apply online before your trip. Be aware, unlike Schengen, the UK has strict entry rules. Even with the ETA, border agents may still ask for proof of your stay, return ticket, or sufficient funds. Always have your documents ready. New Airport Security System EES. In May 2025, the EU is rolling out EES, Entry-Exit System, an automated border security system, replacing passport stamps with facial recognition and fingerprint scan. This applies to non-EU travelers entering or leaving the Schengen zone. If you have family or friends visiting from outside the EU, tell them to expect a new check-in process. Higher airline seat and luggage fees. Airlines are getting more expensive. Lufthansa now is charging up to €115 more for your extra legroom seats and raise the fares to cover new sustainable fuel costs. Baggage fees are also climbing, so always check airline policies before you fly. Major airline route cuts in 2025. If you're flying with Ryanair, pay attention. Due to rising aviation taxes, Ryanair is cutting multiple routes in 2025. For example, the routes to Aalborg, I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, it's from Denmark. All the routes towards the city will be fully cancelled, and Spanish airports like Jerez and Valladolid will lose multiple flights. Check your bookings early and be prepared for last-minute cancellations. New rules for European travelers going outside Europe in 2025. Stricter ESTA rules for the US. If you're planning a trip to the US, make sure to apply for ESTA, Electronic System for Travel Authorization, at least 72 hours before departure. Last-minute approvals are no longer guaranteed. In 2025, new security measures mean some travelers may face extra screening, so it's best to apply early and avoid surprises at the airport. If you're heading to Australia, be prepared. Processing times for e-visitor visas are now longer. What used to take a few days can now take up to 4 weeks in peak travel seasons. So, if you're planning to visit, apply as soon as you finalize your trip to avoid last-minute delays. Flying to Canada, well, from 2025 ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization, applicants must provide proof of accommodation and return ticket at the time of application. If you can't provide this, your application may be rejected, so make sure to have everything ready before you apply. These new regulations mean more planning is needed before traveling outside Europe, and that you have to check visa and authorization rules early to avoid last-minute issues. Thinking of visiting Venice or Greece in 2025? Well, get ready to pay more in tourist taxes. Venice is raising its tourist tax to 10 euros for last-minute visitors during peak days, and Greece is increasing daily tourist taxes in the high season. Other cities, including Barcelona and Paris, are also considering tax hikes to reduce over-tourism. Always do check your destination's latest tax rates. So there you have it, the biggest travel changes coming up in 2025. Here's a quick recap. Bulgaria and Romania are now Schengen members. ETIAS starts for non-EU travelers, so apply early. UK, ETA required for European citizens, costs 10 euros. EES will replace passport stamps with biometric scanning. Airlines are hiking seat and baggage fees. Be careful and check before you book. Tourist taxes are rising in places like Venice and Greece. New regulations before traveling outside Europe. And plan ahead to avoid last-minute surprises. I hope you found this useful. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. It will be my pleasure to answer them all. And don't forget to check out my other travel videos, which I will put on the screen right here. Bye.